Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got Kyrie's next move, a lot of talk about reps for some odd reason, the NBA Finals, the week's hottest releases, and of course, a Hard Pass. All right, let's start this show with some hot takes. According to a study done by Hot UK Deals, a definitive source if I've ever heard one, the Travis Scott Fragment Design Air Jordan 1 Low is the second most repped or faked or bootlegged sneaker currently. The top belongs to the Mocha Ones, but remember what I said about a particular pair a few weeks ago? Beyond a shadow of a doubt, easily the most common pair that I've seen from the Travis Jordan 1 Over, when really they should be the rarest of the bunch. And the resale prices that I've seen online would indicate that they are pretty darn rare. So I don't want to accuse everybody that I've seen wearing these sneakers as perpetuating reps or unauthorized authentics or doesn't prove anything definitively, but yeah, there's just too many out there. But hey, do what you want, wear what you want, reps or not, just maybe wear something else. Another tidbit from that study is that some of the people who buy reps actually have the authentic pair, but they keep those on ice and wear the reps. I guess sneaker stunt doubles are a thing now, or it's a very convenient excuse, which again, I don't care to explore. Like, has anybody in the comments either called out someone for wearing reps or has been called out for wearing reps and went out of their way to prove that they have the real thing? If so, can you tell me where you live so I can put it on my list of places that take this sneaker thing way too seriously? Kyrie Irving says he's about to sign a new sneaker deal soon. That was 2 weeks ago, but who's counting? Adidas and Puma are considered to be a part of the bidding war for Kai, which would be kind of disappointing, honestly. When he left Nike and covered his former signature shoes, he talked a lot about freedom. Not sure he would get that much more freedom signing with an Adidas or a Puma or another large brand, but if it's anything like his multiple NBA stops, he's going to be happy for a few weeks and talk about how things are different and that everything he did last time was misconstrued. But then he gets on the YouTube rabbit hole and emerges unhappy and we start the dance all over again. Hopefully, he's just building up anticipation and he actually announces the start of his own brand, or he signs with a black-owned brand that truly disrupts the sneaker game. That way, we become genuinely excited for something new and fresh, but also he can't pin it on anybody or anything else if things are good or bad. So, love this story. A middle school teacher recently held a sneaker design contest for his students, and the winner actually had their creation turned into reality by sneaker customizer Jonathan Millar. The winning piece, a combination Jordan 3 Tinker off-white interpretation of the Air Jordan 3 that should have been a happy moment for the kid, and you know what? I'm sure it was for them. And if you're being honest, the swooshy shape and implementation is better on these than on the actual Jordan 3 Tinkers. But then the internet saw it and had their take. Look, people, it's a middle school kid. 99% of our original ideas in middle school were inspired by or outright stolen from something we saw elsewhere. Let's be positive and encourage these kids to do even better for their next project. This is not an F them kids moment. You're not MJ. Anyway, images for a 2023 retro of the Nike Air More Uptempo is upsetting a lot of fans of the original pair. The new 2023 Uptempos appear to correct the mistake of the 2020 retro by having the white outline on the Air extend to the midsole, but now there's too much white space between the letters and the midsole. Not only that, there are now people who own the 2020 retro who say the minimal white outline is actually better than the original. It's like people who argue about the patent leather cut on the Air Jordan 11. People weren't happy about the shorter cut. Then they brought back the original higher cut. But now kids who grew up with the smaller cut prefer them to be higher. It's good times, man. Nike wishes these were the only kind of problems they had. Congratulations to Bronny James graduating high school. I don't give a really that he wore the latest Travis Scott Jordan 1s, unless they were a new unreleased colorway or something interesting. You know what? Social media really needs to leave these kids alone, man. Floyd Mayweather has stacks and stacks of white Air Force Ones that he only wears once and then donates them. Well, at least we know where a chunk of the supply went when it was hard there for a few weeks to buy them. But yeah, good on the champ for donating his sneakers to the kids. Not sure if that's something I would flex about, but I could see some kids showing off their pair and bragging that one of the greats of boxing wore them first. A seller of reps was reposted all over social media this week for selling Air Jordan 11s that look close to the real thing for just $50. Of course, just because the pictures are nice doesn't mean the shoes won't wear out or disintegrate after a few steps, but I have to ask, when did 11s become gamer girl style? Like, is there a secret world of Twitch streamers who play games and wear sneaker reps that I don't know about? Don't actually answer that question in the comments. I actually don't want to know the answer to that. Anyway, let's move on to the Heat Check, where we bring you everything that's dropping this week. We have the kids' Nike Dunk Low Pastel Paisley on the 6 for $95. The women's Nike Dunk Low Indigo Haze for $110. The Nike Zoom Vomero 5 Varsity Maze, this is a restock. That's going to be $160. The kids' Air Jordan 3 Hide and Sneak, those are $150. The Nike Air Max 1 Puerto Rico Orange Frost, that's for $140. The Nike Airship SP Tech Gray, those are going to be on the 7th for $150. The Nike Air Flight Huarache OG, those are $125. The Nike Air Force 1 Low Los Angeles, those are going to be $150. The Nike Air Max 1 The Bay, those are going to be $160. The kids Air Jordan 2 Low UNC, those are going to be on June 8th. The women's Nike Dunk Low Plum Eclipse, those are going to be on the 8th for $120. The Nike LeBron 20 Laser Orange, those are going to be $200. The women's Air Jordan 5 Indigo Haze, those are going to be $180. The Matthew M. Williams Nike 005 Slide Dark Khaki and Volt, those are on the 9th for $190 each. Bodega's New Balance 610, those are going to be $160. The Puma MB02 BU, those are $175. The Air Jordan 1 Black and Smoke Gray, those are on the 10th for $180. And then the Air Jordan 2 Wings on the 10th as well for $210. And then our pick of the week is the Gamer Girl 11s, which are available now, I guess, for $50. These Air Jordan 11 reps will probably turn to dust after a few days, but if you're just sitting on a $1,000 gamer chair with mood lighting in the background, it's probably not gonna matter, I'm assuming. Anyway, we're recording this episode before the start of the NBA Finals, but 2K Sports has predicted that the Miami Heat will win this series, not only in 7 games, but that every game will be won by the road team. Man, that seems about as unlikely as Boston actually getting over the hump and not screwing it up in the end. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Look, it's not like they've only won one championship in the past 30 years. Oh wait, they have only won one championship in the past 30 years. As a true Laker fan, the only thing that makes me happier than us winning is Boston losing. Harrison Ford was asked who would win between Han Solo and Indiana Jones. If you guessed the famously curmudgeonly Ford answered, "What are you asking me that crap for?" you would be correct. Haven't we watched enough clips through the years of Ford being so done with our nerd shit? Most of the time he's doing the angry man thing as a bit, but I can imagine it's getting grating through the years. Not to compare myself to Harrison Ford, but that would be like someone coming up to me like 50 years from now when I'm like 35 and they ask, "Hey, what was it like being in Michael Jordan's house?" Speaking of curmudgeonly, CM Punk is officially back. Man, what a difference 2 years makes, huh? From waiting until he walked out to the entrance ramp of a sold-out United Center to having to announce he will for sure be there and not walk out or suddenly quit or get into a fight with the Young Bucks and their super kicks and exploding Jordan 1s again just to sell more tickets. Man, the times sure are changing for old CM. The Rock is officially back in the Fast and Furious cinematic universe, but he'll be starring in another standalone Hobbs movie that will serve as a ramp up to the Fast X Part 2, with no guarantee yet that he'll be showing up for that, delaying the inevitable reunion with Vin Diesel. Okay, so now we've got a Hobbs movie that will probably star Jason Statham, a more than likely female-led spin-off with Michelle Rodriguez, Charlize Theron, and Fast X Part 2 and 3. I swear, this is all leading to Vin Diesel doing a Steve Rogers Avengers Assemble bit with a CGI Paul Walker as one of the drivers, and I am here for it, baby. Trust me, I am. Oh, and one more wrestling thing before we move on to Hard Pass. That little teaser on Monday Night Raw where Dominic Mysterio asks why he can't be the one who beats Seth Rollins? Yeah, that proves my post-WrestleMania point. Dom as world champion or threatening to be world champion would be best for business. And how do you keep him a threat without actually challenging Seth right away? Give Dom the money in the bank briefcase, man. All right, it's time for this week's Hard Pass. We'll take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. Like the entire executive branch over at Nike. According to a report from Business Insider, the swoosh is undergoing some corporate shuffling as they look for the next big thing. Why? Because what they're doing right now isn't moving the needle. Air Jordans and Air Maxes are name checked as products that aren't selling, with several high profile retros in particular selling for below retail on the secondary market. Not sure why analysts should give a shit about resale, but whatever. Actually, that's a lie. I know why they care. I just wish that they didn't. Anyways, Sam Poser of Williams Trading is issuing a rare sell call for Nike. It's rare because Nike stock just always seemed to go up and up. But from the highs of 2021, it has gradually dropped to pre-pandemic levels. And in Poser's report, the headline is Air Max is becoming Air Men. I mean, come on, Sam. I don't know you from Matt Powell, but this is how we know you're not a very online person. Air Mid was right there for the taking. You had it, and you didn't take it. I don't think I've been this disappointed since the Lakers lost. So, what's actually happening? Lifestyle sneakers, aka dunks and retros of Jordans and Air Maxes, are on the downswing. The sneaker normies, aka people who think panda dunks are cute, have had enough. Sneaker culture is turning their eyes to other brands with legacy sneakers like New Balance. In the performance sector, people still don't care about LeBron's, KD's, Zoom Freaks, and everything else like they did a decade ago. Their running and outdoor shoes are doing fine, but they're also facing competition from brands like Hoka, Merrell, On Running, and Solomon, and that fulfills our obligation to mention Solomon at least once every few weeks. But does that mean that the party's over for Nike? Not really. It does stink that people are losing their jobs, though, and according to Arch USA piece by Chris Burns, the coldness of these rounds of layoffs wasn't quite like it was back in the 90s when Phil Knight had to make cuts. He allowed some employees to choose early retirement while letting others take pay cuts to stay on board. But both Burns and Poser say that Nike's current malaise is not unlike what they went through in the mid-2010s when the signature basketball market crashed and burned. At that time, Nike offset those flailing sectors with new products like the Air Max 270 and the Vapor Max, hyping up a renewed commitment to remastering Jordan retros and the introduction of the Sneakers app. Now they need their next hit, and fast. And don't tell me that the Dot Swoosh NFT metaverse thing is their saving grace. I got a notification that I could buy some boxes for $20 that do something, and I couldn't close that window fast enough. Mark Zuckerberg over at Meta already killed the thing that he renamed his company after. Nike would be smart to do the same. Just don't pivot to the next grift, AI, like Zuck has, John Donahoe. So, how is Nike going to get out of this predicament? Honestly, hell if I know. If I did, I'd be working for them collecting a 9-figure salary wearing Olympic worn J's that I bought from Karl Malone. Saying just make better product is easier said than done, but that's the reality. Nike's got such a deep archive that they're just one Mac attack or Jordan retro away from flipping all of these analysts back to their side. But in the meantime, they need to keep grinding away and making new hits out of the gate and not waiting for them to become retros. Like the Vomero 5 was popular when they first came out and the retros are doing well, but the current Vomero, the 16 and the upcoming 17, need to be popping too. We're on the Air Jordan 37 now, but save for a handful of pairs, non-hoopers haven't given a since the 14. And now that those people aren't giving too much of a about the 14s and most retros either, they have to focus on making the 38, the 39, and especially the 40 something that people would actually wear, not just for hooping, but for styling off the court as well. And I get it. When you talk to these designers, making shoes for the streets isn't their first concern, but maybe it should be. And then there's the Sneakers app. Look, I'm a big proponent of burning the damn thing down and starting over, but it doesn't look like Nike is going to do that. They've invested so much time into sneakers that starting over doesn't seem like an option. Exclusive access that grants the biggest losers a chance to get a sneaker is fine and all, but it starts from such a negative place. Basically, you have to be a sneaker masochist who takes L's weeks after week. Maybe starting a pre-order program for some big-time sneakers could bring some goodwill back, or, just make more so the whining online subsides. Something. Really, we're asking for anything. This is the season for trying new Nike. I wish it didn't have to come at the expense of hardworking employees who were laid off so callously like they're just numbers on a spreadsheet, but from that mess, they have the opportunity to become a leaner and more focused company. The result from this should be new sneakers in early 2024 and beyond that are trying to push the envelope. Obviously, not all of them are going to be hits, but if even only a handful become a pillar for Nike like the Air Max 270 became, they'll be in a good spot. Let's not get it twisted. Nike's not in a desperate position, nor are they at risk of losing their number one position to Adidas or any other brand. But changes do need to be made, preferably sooner than later. But if we're playing this game, a new number one wouldn't be the worst thing now, would it? Adidas, New Balance, Puma, Curry brand? It would take a monumental collapse by Nike and a string of unprecedented hits by one of those brands. Remember, Ultra Boost plus Yeezys at their peak wasn't even enough to make a dent in Nike's wall. But I need to see them try. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week. If you'd like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message, your socials if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see you next week. Peace.